Before this video starts, I've decided to postpone the secondary marathon and just focus on finishing up Sonic. I've realized that I'm a bit of an overcommitter, and while doing 2 marathons doesn't add more work in each passing moment, I've realized that it was just a lot to think about and it was making me not want to make videos at all. So the secondary marathon is not happening. I'm just going to focus on finishing up Sonic. And while we're here, just I guess an update for what I'm planning this year. I'm hoping to do more non-wise review videos that are a bit more outside of my comfort zone. So wise reviews aren't going anywhere. Let's be honest, they're not going to become more infrequent than they already are. But there will be some other stuff coming too, and yeah, some of which are going to be like the Sonic Frontiers, a bigger video. I mean, I have a lot of reviews that I kind of want to redo. Pretty much everything from the inception of Wise review up to how the Metroid Marathon. I think I could easily justify redoing, and even some of the Sonic videos. But, you know, there are games I want to go more in depth on than I can with the Wise review, because these are just kind of to make sure I always have something I could be working on, and I sometimes compromise quality just for the sake of having it done. So, you know, take half the Sonic Marathon there. I've realized there's more things I kind of wish I said. So, you know, it's possible that some of those videos get redone, touched up a little bit. But basically, that's the end of my rambling. Now, the blue rat beckons. Oh, hello. The market for Sonic characters with weapons is at an all-time high in demand. And because last time just went, we're gonna try with swords this time. Black Knight started development right after Secret Rings. This time the theme would focus on the Knights of the Round Table, as they wanted to attract new players to the game and Sonic fans to the legend. Whatever the hell that means. And while the visual style was inspired by Unleashed, the gameplay would be more focused on cinematic presentation and combat, though I don't know what that means either. Unleashed had amazing cinematic presentation, and sure, there was room for improvement with the combat, but I'm sure they knew that they wouldn't exactly get that from a storybook game on the Wii. I will say that the cutscenes are a step up from Secret Rings though, mainly the illustrated ones. I prefer this look way more. Though I'll give Secret Rings the edge when it comes to the in-game levels. I get that these environments fit the medieval theme, but Secret Rings just had way more vibrant environments that were a bit more pleasant to look at. Whoa, sorry. I just think saying so many positive things about Secret Rings is kinda making me a little sick. Good thing that's about all Secret Rings did better. The game opens with this witch, Merlina, summoning Sonic directly into the story to help her fight off these disgusting black creatures. She explains afterwards that King Arthur has turned evil and the scabbard of Excalibur is making him immortal. So Sonic decides that he can fit treason into his schedule and agrees to help her take down King Arthur. She guides him to some sword and a stone that Sonic takes and immediately has beef with. The sword, Caliburn, guides Sonic through the castle town to find a blacksmith because Tails had to be in this game somehow. And also from here, Merlina just kind of drops out of the story for a bit because Caliburn guides Sonic to the Lady of the Lake, but not before Lancelot, who is being represented by Shadow, tries to stop us. He fails and we get to steal his sword. I appreciate how this game doesn't force Sonic to not realize these aren't actually his friends. Sure, he has a few initial reactions when he sees people he recognizes, but it's only for Tails and Amy and none of the other knights. I was a little worried that we were going to get the same joke even more in this game, just like in Secret Rings. The Lady of the Lake agrees to tell Sonic how to stop King Arthur if he proves that he's that guy, which comes naturally to Sonic. She reveals that the way to nullify the scabbard's healing properties is to use the sacred swords held by the Knights of the Round Table against King Arthur. Good thing we already have 2 because we stole one from Knuckles while he was trying to kill himself. We find Percival, take her sword, and then we finally go and kill King Arthur. Roll credits. By the way, God, that Secret Rings comment is still getting me. By the way, did that seem fast to any of you? Because that's pretty much how it is in the game. I mean, there's not even any fanfare after you kill King Arthur, and that's because this game tries to pull a Sonic adventure and have a secret final story after the supposed final boss. The only issue with that is that there's only one story, and nothing telling you that there's more if you select the new mission that's available. If I didn't already know that there was more, I probably would have stopped playing. So as it turns out, King Arthur never existed. He was an illusion created by Merlina's grandfather. They teased earlier that Merlina struggles with mortality. She can't understand the point of life since it's doomed to end regardless. So she takes King Arthur's scabbard and uses it to start destroying the kingdom to make one that'll last forever. Holy shit, even in medieval times, Shadow has air shoes. Sonic and the Round Table figure out a plan to get Sonic near Merlina, and after some missions that you're supposed to do with the other characters, but I didn't because I didn't like them, Sonic confronts Merlina, which just goes oh so well. I mean, sure, Caliburn broke and Sonic hasn't landed a single hit, but that's because you can't fight the final boss if you're blue, dumbass. Sonic reminds everyone that he's built different. Oh, and the others technically help somehow. And Sonic summons the final sacred sword, with Caliburn fixing itself into Excalibur. Collecting 7 items for a power-up? Nah, fuck that. Sonic caused all this by accident. Sonic beats Merlina, tells her to cut that shit out, then Caliburn names him as the rightful king, and then the game ends again. There was barely more fanfare here than in the fake ending after beating King Arthur. He just told Merlina, hey, sure, death comes for us all, but that just makes the time you do have more special. And she's just like, shit, my bad. They don't even wrap up Sonic's ascent to king because we know he has to go back to his world, so he can't be king here. But before they can touch on that, the credits roll. And when the credits end, Sonic is back in the real world telling the whole story to Amy as an excuse for missing their date. So here's my 100% accurate theory, and if you disagree then you're wrong and someone will be sent to your house to fix that. I'm aware that there's probably something in a later game that makes this entire thing that I'm about to say all bullshit, but I like to think that the story in this game is so short and rushed because it didn't actually happen, and Amy was right about Sonic making it up on the spot because he forgot about their date. It explains why there's no real resolution, why things happen so fast. I mean, like, Sonic is given a new objective. It never usually takes more than 1 or 2 missions to have it completed. You need to find Caliburn in the stone, and you find him pretty much immediately. When you're told you need the sacred swords, well, you already have 2 of them. It feels like I just got the spark notes for the story, but in reality, that's just all there is. And as much as I like the few scenes we have with Sonic and the others, I would have liked it if we had spent more time on the actual important scenes. Like what exactly Merlina's grandfather's goal was with King Arthur, or how accepting Merlina is when Sonic tries to share his view on mortality, or how the knights feel about the fact that their new king's first action was to abandon his people. The story serves its purpose, but the pacing is just way too fast. Now the gameplay is kind of weird. See, I already hated using this thing in the last game, and now it has a growth. Now, I wouldn't exactly call this game good, but this is some of the most fun I've had playing a Sonic game, period. The improvements to Secret Rings are immediately apparent as you need to use the nunchuck, meaning that we have an analog stick to move, and we also have control on which direction we're moving. No more auto-run bullshit or awkward back jumping. Everything has been put back on God's own buttons. Granted, the main direction of movement is still forward and you're not completely free to go wherever you want. But god, this is so refreshing after Secret Rings. The only action the motion controls affect is the attacks. You can swing the Wii remote to swing your sword. That's basically it. You can homing attack, but you don't have to. And you have one more move that launches you to the closest enemy or just blitzes you forward if there's no one around. I got more use out of it than I did, like, what was it called? Time Break? Whatever it was from Secret Rings. The deepest the swordplay ever gets is swinging your sword at the right moment to parry bosses, and the rest of the game is just... Oh, you know what? I did forget one thing. You can block. It's not all that deep, or really engaging for that matter, but it was fun. At no point was I not enjoying my time. And the game was really short. It took like a weekend to finish the whole thing. The structure is similar to Secret Rings, but it does a better job at guiding you to where the next required mission is. All you really have to do is pay attention to the cutscenes. And I'd be remiss not to mention this game's music. The look on my face in the blacksmith shop, a mechanic so meaningless that I did not feel the need to mention it until now. But when I realized I was listening to a medieval version of Believe in Myself from SA1, I was stunned. And I was even more stunned when they didn't even bother and just played Knuckles' theme straight up. The same goes for It Doesn't Matter. It's like they forgot that they were going for something here. At least then it makes sense because Sonic isn't from this world, he's from the world where electric guitars get to exist. While I think Secret Rings has more noticeable level themes, this game had a few more tracks that I think really stuck with me. I mean, maybe it helps that I was actually able to hear the music instead of my brain trying to convince me to turn the game off because the pain was becoming too much to bear, and I can feel my brain cells slowly killing themselves off one by one. I can recommend this game, especially since it's pretty easy to find. I mean, it was $5, that's so 6 levels of cheap, except this game actually fucking worked. But it's not amazing, and I can totally see why it probably underperformed and killed the storybook series. But I can also see why a lot of people really like this game. Hell, my boy Jeffrey swears by this game a lot. And I'm pretty sure if I didn't include this part where I mentioned that he champions this game, he would kill me in my own home. It's fun, but nothing I ever feel like I'm gonna need to revisit again. I don't really think it's good, but it's fun. So next time we're still on the goddamn Wii with Sonic Colors. I feel the need to mention that I'm looking at the original and not Colors Ultimate because Sonic the Hedgehog re-releases could be an entire video in its own right. Is the disc loose? What is that sound? Jesus Christ. I don't even know if the camera's picking this up, but that does not sound... Is that me scratching the disc and making it not working? Anyway, I'm sick of writing the script. Leave.